Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sideline Report. Marvin Jackson here, along with Lou Holder, Donna Hopkins, and special guest, Donal Ware. And Washington gets shut out in Minnesota. And we want some of these folks on here to talk about that. Donna was actually there. I think she froze a little bit up there in Minnesota, but at least the game was inside. So, Donna, let's start out with you. You were there. What happened that the Washington Commanders were shut out in Minnesota?
Hey, Marvin, you said that I was probably cold in Minnesota. They was frozen because they didn't get going because they were like in the snow, buried the way they played in that game. For them to have played a week ago against a Denver team, a good Denver team, good defense, and to come out and play against a Vikings team that was trying to get over the hump too, and they were desperate for a win, and the Commanders had a slim chance of making the playoff, and they had all their horses back on offense. I mean, this is the first time in months that this team has been together as a unit on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you had Noah Brown, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Traylon Burke. Your receiving core was all intact. Your offensive line has been together and gelling for the last probably 4 games, and then your running game. And then you come out looking like that they were still injured because this unit just did not get off the ground. And I think that what did them in was that first drive when they get down with Rodriguez running the ball to get them down at the 1 yard line. Can I say that 1 yard line? And they passed the ball 3 straight times and didn't even try to punch it in. And I thought that right there, the arrowhead went out their sail at that moment because you get down there, it's 7-7 if you score. But I'm not understanding Kingsbury as far as his play calling in the red zone and not utilizing the running game that got you down there. The offense, to me, as Coach Quinn said, instead of, that game before, instead of taking a step forward, they took 3 steps backwards. And Terry McLaurin said in the locker room, which was a silent locker room, you could hear a pin drop. He said, I don't feel sorry for us. He said, because we did ourselves in.
Lou?
I mean, Donna was there. She saw it firsthand. Watching it on TV was no better. I just did not see, again, the praises that I had for this team, like Donna said, a competitive way that you took one of the best teams in the league to the brink and to get a shutout by a 4-8 team. And we'll get to this. And your franchise quarterback is healthy, but still having problems reading some defenses. It was just one of those things that this, to me, is a devastating loss by the way that they lost. And it just, there's Cliff Kingsbury. He's got to be put on notice. I mean, this was a person that you were like, okay, is he going to take a job in the offseason? His stock was very, very high. I don't think his stock is high anymore. Like, there has been too many instances where this offense, like Donna said, you had all your quote unquote bullets in the chamber, at least more than you have before, and you get shut out, no points. I mean, come on, guys. Sideline Report, help me out. How do you get shut out in the NFL? Like, you have so many opportunities that you couldn't even kick a field goal in Minnesota to get 3 points on the board. That is the most devastating thing, that you have all of that talent and an offensive coordinator who is supposed to be posturing for other positions and other jobs, and you lay a goose egg against a 4-8 football team. It's mind-boggling to me. And of all the losses, because of what we saw the week before, because of that, this is a truly devastating loss. And that's one that you were like, you know what? After they played against Denver, this is going to be competitive. Let's go. And now you're just like, oh no.
Hey, Donal Ware, help us out. Is this team maybe not as good as we thought they were?
Yeah, I mean, but I think a lot of it has to do with the injuries. I think what Donna's, let's count the number of things that happened wrong in this football game. Like Donna mentioned, you get down goal to go, you don't score because you didn't run the football. I mean, look, even Marcus Mariota averaged 3.5 yards per carry. That was the least amount of yards per carry anybody averaged in this football game. Jaden Daniels throws an interception. I don't know. Somebody should have told him, if you throw an interception, get down. You don't need to go and chase the guy down. Get down. He doesn't do that. He re-aggravates the injury. Marcus Mariota comes in. He throws an interception. And then he basically, to me, he may have ended Zach Ertz's career, okay, with the high throw. Now Zach Ertz is out for the season. So you can count the number of mishaps that happened in this game for the Commanders. And by the way, you got blanked, as Lou said. Like, how did you get blanked? And I also thought even though I thought the Commanders should have run the football when they had goal to go, when they didn't get it on that third down, I thought they should have kicked the field goal. And to me, that's sort of where the game really started to change and got away from the Commanders.
Big loss with Zach Ertz being injured. A leader. He's a guy you want around this team. And then Jaden Daniels, they've got to protect him better. I like what you said, Donald. You just have to instruct him not to go after people and tackle people. You got to get him not running the ball as much.
That is so hard, though, for a competitor.
Yes.
Marvin,
It's
that is
difficult.
so hard. That is so hard to tell a competitor, again, that wants to make a statement, right? He knows that he made a mistake. It's so hard to tell that young man just to stop playing and get down, because that is very, very hard to do.
But my question is, did they tell him? Have they ever told him?
The thing is, you can't tell a person to change who they are as a player. Any player in the heat of the moment, I like the fact that he chased the guy down. It's just the fact that he still got a sore arm and the guy knocked him down, and the way Terry, even with his injury, chased him down and got him. I don't like people to basically say, hey, I understand about running the ball, but that comes back to Cliff Kingsbury. You have to dial up this offense where Jayden does not have to run like that. Behind the center, they should have been working on him doing training camp in the off season on getting behind the center, and therefore you don't have to run for your life all the time. But they've got him, back a ways as far as behind the center, and he's looking at the field and so forth. You got to kind of like teach Jayden at this point of his career as he's developed is, let's become a pocket quarterback to a certain degree where you don't have to run all the time. But I don't like when people try to say athletes basically tone down your game of who you are. I mean, you can be smarter, but that's where the offensive coordinator comes in dialing up plays for him. But the sad thing about what I didn't see is for Jayden, Kingsbury dials up a different game than he does for Mariota, and they both run the ball. Really, I'm not understanding how they don't go downfield when Jayden is in there and you're doing this little short stuff and all of that. You're dialing up different games where you take away the strength of Jayden to a certain degree. You're not developing him where you're using Mariota basically to go downfield. When Mariota was in there a week ago, you called a different game where you see the long ball connect. You didn't see that against Jayden.
Got the Giants coming up in New York. Donald, what is that going to look like? What do they have to do to beat the Giants without Zach Ertz? That passing game is not going to be as strong. We don't know if Jayden's going to be in there.
Three words, and I'm not saying it's easy. Run the football. Please, run the football. Again, you're looking at Rodriguez averaging 4.5. Like, all of these guys are averaging in excess of 4 yards per carry in the game. And at the most, in all Kingsbury wants to do is throw the football. Just run the football. Let's see what happens. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but they need to run the football.
Give the defense a rest. Sometimes the defense has to get back out there so fast. Sometimes they're not well rested. Donna and Lou, you guys, we got a minute or so. You guys think they can pull that off with the Giants?
Not if the team shows up that showed up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
To me, from one week to the other week, you got, I don't know who the team is and everything. So they've got to be able to figure out how they can put the pieces together and be solid like they were in that Denver game.
Run the football. Last year up there, Donna and I saw that Chris Rodriguez, he was in for Brian Robinson, and he ran the football. I don't know why it's taken us to week 13, 14, 15 to know he can run the football. If your offensive line likes to run block more than they like to pass block, like Donald said, please run the football and stay with the run. Stay with the run. Stay with the run. Because Jaden is going to get hurt. That's the reason why a lot of people are saying don't play Jaden, because the way Jaden plays is not conducive right now to what he has to work with, right? Because he's just going, that's like telling a wild animal, don't be wild. You know what I'm saying? Like
he has all his weapons back. He's got all his weapons back.
This is so frustrating. I'm sorry. This is so frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's look at what else is going on around the league. Lou, you talk about a lot. December, this is when you know what are the top teams. What are the teams that look like they want to go to the Super Bowl?
Right. So
I'm looking at the Rams, the Packers, the Seahawks, those teams.
Let me stop you right there, Marvin. Let me stop you right there. Because Tony Dungy said it to me great last week. Okay. Last time he was here. He said, there is no clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. He said to me, and I quote, if you get into the playoffs this year, it's a good year to get into the playoffs, because that same whatever team, that you thought was going to be good, that same Rams team, looking at the Eagles look horrible, right? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen from week to week. So, again, you have one team that may be looking good now, but if you get into the playoffs, this is the year that anybody can end up at Levi Stadium for the Super Bowl.
Hey, Lou, you are 100% right, because each week, as much as I thought the Rams was the cream of the crop, then they lose. And then the 49ers are quietly just winning games. Nobody is saying anything about the 49ers. And then the Patriots, I think you have to pay attention to the New England Patriots, because I think they're 11-2. They got a big game coming up this week. But I'm like, Lou, each week I look at it, somebody changes the leaderboard. So it's not a clear picture of who is going to be on top, because I think it's going to come down to the end.
Hey, Donald, can the Patriots beat the Bills a second time?
I think they can. Will they? I don't know. Look, the Bills eked out a great win in the snow against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I mean, I think that the Patriots can. I really like the play of Drake May. Like, Drake May is the real deal. You look at Vrabel and what he's been able to assemble. We knew he was a good coach. Did I see that the Patriots were going to be 11-2 and possibly knocking off this team? I didn't see that, but I certainly think it's very possible. And to Donna's point, like, I really like the Patriots right now in the AFC. In the NFC, I like the Packers. Packers eke out a nice win against the Bears. Jordan Love always starts the season out not so great, then he turns it on, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. So I really like the Packers right now out of the NFC.
They got a big game coming up.
You saying Drake May and Vrabel just makes me cringe, because, again, you see the coaching that Drake May is getting, right? Mm-hmm. The consistent in his second year, and then you see the struggles and the regression that Jaden is having, and that's where now the fan base is starting to say, yo, what's up with the guy that we have, right? And you don't even want to say that, but look at what Drake May and those Patriots are doing, and then even that, Caleb Williams and what he's able to do, and they're all in the same draft. That's the frustrating part, because we all know that Jaden Daniels can play football, but as Donna said, Cliff Kingsbury, what are you doing?
Hey, and Ben Johnson is the coach up there in Chicago. Remember, Caleb did not have this year last year, and Ben Johnson came up there, settled him down, simplified things for him, and you're starting to see that even more so. But back to Green Bay. They got a big game coming up this week, too. It's going to be a telltale of where that Green Bay team is if they can pull this one off.
Yeah, I think this week will really tell you who some of those top teams might be. I think that, like
For
Lou
now.
said, like
Yeah,
Lou said,
for 1 week.
and like, yeah, it's pretty fluid. But like Lou says, though, you don't know who's going to be in there right now. But I think this week with some big games, you're going to see some teams say,
What do the young people say?
maybe make a statement.
6,
Yeah,
7.
6, 7, 6, 7.
6, 7.
They're gonna make a statement, right? we don't really know, but I love the Patriots, what they're doing, and a lot of it is the system, is the head coach, what he's doing. I like Green Bay because they had a little situation maybe about the 5th week or so where they could have kind of gone down, but they stepped it up, and I like that about their team.
Hey, that
And
NFC,
I do like their head coach as well.
that NFC West with Seattle
Yeah.
and Donna said it. Donna said it. Like quietly, San Francisco's trying to be that first team that plays in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. I mean, yo, don't shut the Shanahan. Don't count them out. Don't count
Nobody
them
is
out.
saying anything about them.
Yeah,
No,
because
they
they
like that.
They
like
heavily
that car,
rely
they like
on
that.
McCaffrey.
They're like that
though.
thing in the car that says objects in the rearview mirror may be closer than they appear.
I think they are praying that McCaffrey stays healthy, though. I think that's the real key for them.
But Green Bay got that big game against Denver, and that's going to be a telltale because Denver is just skidding through it, but they're still winning, no matter how they're winning and everything. So Denver and Green Bay, that game, and it's in Denver, it's going to be a telltale as far as if Green Bay can pull off that win against Denver's good defense. So you're going to have offense against defense. So that's going to be a exciting. It's some great games this weekend.
I do want to say that the Rams, with those two receivers, I mean, they got to be the two best receivers right now who are playing the best. Those two together.
But then they lost to Carolina.
They lost to Carolina. But Carolina, look where Carolina might be if they win this week.
I can't give the Rams nothing. They even the Rams supporters are like, you know what? Every week they're playing.
What year was that the Patriots won every game? They lost to Washington. They win the Super Bowl. I mean that happens, right?
But you're going to have some games like that. And to me, the Panthers are. I don't know what to make of them because, like Bryce Young, he should be much further along than he is. 1 week he'll give you 425 yards. The next week he'll throw 3 interceptions. I think to the point about that, and that's what concerns me about the 49ers, because while I don't know what to expect from the Panthers per se, the Monday night game before Thanksgiving between the 49ers and the Panthers was a disaster. And I can't believe, look, the 49ers were fortunate to kind of pull that out. So that's why I'm not sold on the 49ers. Panthers, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of the Panthers because 1 week they're great and then the next week they're not. We'll see. I think they make the playoffs, though. I do think that the Panthers ultimately make the playoffs.
And the Colts fell apart because they lose Daniel Jones, so they are done. The Colts were a team that was in your conversation earlier on, and then they lost some key games, and then they lost Daniel Jones, who was having an exceptional year with his new team. He was thrown away by the New York Giants, but he found a home with the Colts, and now he's hurt. And I don't look at them, Jacksonville, I don't look at them to be a strong team, even though they're winning. To me, they don't have the pieces together to talk about when you talk about New England and San Francisco and the Rams and all of them. But guess what? Jacksonville is winning. And then you got Tampa Bay. They lose a game that you thought, oh man, what happened to them? So I'm like, Lou, nobody is a sure shoe-in right now, but the Patriots is to me at the top of the list. And even though the Rams lost, they're still up there in my book, but that game against Buffalo and the Patriots is going to tell me a lot about that Patriots team this weekend.
Somebody's going to surprise us at the end of the season. Let's talk some college football. The college football playoffs. What do you guys think about that? I mean, Notre Dame did not get in. Miami got in, but I have no problem with that because Miami beat them head up, during the season. And I did want to get you all's opinion of, do you think this is a good situation, a good system, this 12 team thing? And also, which teams do you all think are the top teams going into this playoff? They got Indiana at the top.
Yeah.
The guy that covers college football all the time, you got to speak up for us.
Well, I mean, I do cover some college. I got to tell you, I really like Indiana. I think that people thought this year, and maybe it's just me, I thought maybe coming into this year that Indiana, okay, it was a great year, great story last year. I think it's the real deal. So as the number one seed, I like Indiana. I think the whole thing with Notre Dame and Miami is interesting. I'm of the belief that, yes, when you take the head-to-head, Miami absolutely did beat them, but Notre Dame played better to me down the stretch. That's why I thought that Notre Dame got robbed. Plus, there's the controversy with the ACC now having come out and sided with Miami, which it should do. But if it threw Notre Dame under the bus, like was reported, I think that's wrong because remember, Notre Dame is helping the ACC by playing 5 games a season. That helps the ACC. ACC's terrible in football. So I think the whole situation is bad, but I do think Notre Dame got robbed.
Yeah, I agree with you also. I don't like the system of how they pick these teams at the very end, how it goes up. I know they look at the schedule, how tough the schedule was, but I think like last year, I think that teams were cheated out. And I think this year, the Notre Dame team was cheated out. And I do like, Marvin, the 12-game playoff system, but the only thing I don't like is how long it takes them to play the championship game. Most of these teams are going to be out of playing a game way after the season is over. And I think you don't get to see the strength of teams playing each other because it's so long before the playoffs is. That's something I like to see them correct, is get these games played, but get the championship. I know they want to wait a little later, but that championship game needs to be played sooner than what it is.
I'm kind of mixed feelings here because I remember how we clamored for a playoff because, you'd have this mythical champion and those Colorado and Notre Dame and, who is the AP number one and just like, what? So at least we have a system. But as Donna said, I mean, put it this way, the ultimate tournament that we have in this country with the NCAA basketball tournament still has issues because you're like, okay, the 60 some odd team doesn't get in. There's always going to be a team, whether it's the Notre Dame, or there's always going to be a team that's going to be on that bubble that does not get in. But I do like the fact that at least there is a playoff at some point to say, hey, look, okay, the teams that are in there now, that is where we have it. And I do believe that Indiana is an unbelievable story. I mean, the way that they have come in a quick turnaround, that's why people like Loxley and all them are on the hot seat immediately, because that is a basketball school. And now they are number one in the country in football.
Like, you don't even hear about them being a football team. They basketball. I'm thinking, like, when I saw them in the playoffs, I said, they ain't football.
Yeah, that coach did a tremendous job. That coach did a tremendous job. And you're right. I just feel that it just takes some tweaking and tinkering. But do remember when they did not have a playoff and how bad it was, that you didn't know if the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl was going to. Now you do know that once those teams get in, it's going to get down to a national champion that's going to be undisputed. But to get to that point, there are some things that the NCAA has to tweak, as Donna had mentioned.
We got to shout out Kurt Signetti. we got to shout out Kurt Signetti real quick, who's the coach at Indiana, who was at JMU, and now JMU is in the playoff as well. So big shouts out to JMU.
Hey, Marvin,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also Deshaun Jackson got it for the coach of the year for the
Kudos
Right.
to
I
Coach
want
Jackson.
to kind of like throw that out there too.
Kudos.
let's talk about
And I
this
think,
Celebration Bowl.
while we're there, Marquise Gillis should get Offensive Player of the Year if I had a vote.
Let's hope so.
Because what that young man has done under Clinton Portis now to lead the FCS in rushing and where that young man came from, I just think that it should start trickling down all through that Delaware State Hornets team. I mean, that to go from 1 win to 8, that's just a tremendous accomplishment for that football program.
Let's talk about this Celebration Bowl coming up this weekend in Atlanta, and that is going to be a big game with South Carolina State, the team that beat Delaware State with that tough defense they have, going against Prairie View with their coach, Tremaine Jackson. He did a great job in his first year. Chennis Berry with South Carolina State, he won it last year, and he's back now to repeat. So you're talking about some great coaches. And I talked to Charlie Brown, the alumni Redskin wide receiver from back in the 80s, the Fun Bunch and all that. And he's a South Carolina State alum, and he's very happy with Chennis Berry. He says that he's doing a great job. So I did want to mention that. And maybe, Donald, you might know a little more about Prairie View. I know they're tough.
Yeah, Prairie View's the number 1 ranked pass defense in all of FCS. Tremaine Jackson's done a good job. Of course, in our HBCU Coach of the Year went to, of course, Deshaun Jackson. But it should be a really good football game. I think South Carolina State wins because it's got the experience. It was there last year.
All right. And we got some big, I guess, high-profile jobs available, because where Tremaine Jackson was supposed to go to Florida A&M, they picked another coach and they have fired him. And so that's a big high-profile job, because Florida A&M is known for football. So somebody's going to get a good opportunity there at Florida A&M. And then the Bowie State job, even though it's Division II and in the CIAA, I think that's a pretty high-profile job. And I think Lou and I had that discussion recently, because Bowie State has had some big, huge donations over there, and they can put some of that money, if they're listening, they can put some of that money into that football program.
Yes,
Right,
Mackenzie
Lou?
Scott. Thank you.
There you
Hey, listen,
All right.
before we leave, Donna mentioned something, and I want to go back. I just want to give some kudos to Zach Ertz. I mean, this was one of the first signings that this new regime picked up. And if this is the end for him, as far as his age and that gruesome injury, it has been a pleasure. He is one of the people, and Donna will co-sign this. He's one of the people that has made it, him and Bobby Wagner, they have made it a pleasure to go into that locker room, because just his experience and what he brought to that rookie quarterback as a safety valve or whatever, they're wishing him, Donna put it on social media, and I concur, a speedy recovery for him. Don't know what this means for his career, but I do want to say publicly, thank you, Zach Ertz, for bringing professionalism to this restart, to this new franchise, and to this new ownership. And he's one of the players that we will always remember covering, and will always remember that he's going to Canton. His numbers are there. He's Canton worthy. If you're going to put other people in there, his numbers are right there. And I just wanted to say thank you.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to you guys, because you guys did a great job, and we are out of time. So thanks so much, Donal Ware, Lou Holder, and Donna Hopkins. So for everyone out there, thank you for watching. Continue to have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next time on the Sideline. Take care, everybody.